really good intro would be that scene, The Wolf of Wall Street. You behind on your credit card bills? Good! Pick up the phone and start dialing. Braden Hatch.
Turn the camera off. I'm shooting a fucking infomercial here, you fucking sucker.
Could you use some extra money right now? Absolutely. Who couldn't use some extra money? If you're a homeowner and you've owned a home for the last few years, you're probably sitting on something called equity. So what is equity? Equity is the difference in what your home is actually worth compared to how much money you owe on the current mortgage. And that difference is called your equity. And we can typically let you borrow against a certain percentage of that. Usually with home equity lines of credit, which is a very popular one right now, it allows you to pull money on top of your mortgage. So we're not touching that first mortgage. You're still gonna make those regular payments. This would be like an additional loan to get more money out. And the best part is you can use that money for anything. You need to send a kid to college, if you need to pay off some credit card debt, maybe do some home improvements, maybe build a bar in your house, there's literally unlimited things you can do with the money that's tied to your equity because it's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. So a big question that I get is, what are interest rates? How do I access it? Is it smart? Is it a good idea? So within the description of this video is a link to my home equity calculator. If you've ever been curious about how much equity you could potentially access or how much you have available to borrow against, you can find out really, really fast. And it's a soft credit check once you get into it, but if you just want to find out how much equity you can access, you just put in your name, your address, your date of birth, and how much money you make. It'll do it right then and there, let you know how much money you could potentially get. If that number looks good, then you go into the full application. We only need one person, so if there's two of you in the house and one of you has better credit, whoever has the better credit, they need to do the loan application, even if they make less money. Because here's what's cool about this equity line. Everything is linked to the bank accounts. So you're gonna upload your bank accounts as your proof of income. If your spouse also gets their money deposited in there, we can use that income for the entire application. So now we literally have the best of both worlds. We can use both households' incomes, or everyone who's gonna be on the bank statement, and the best person's credit score, right? Because I hear that a lot. Oh, I have really bad credit, but my income's really good. And my wife's credit is awesome, but she doesn't make that much money, or vice versa. Now we can do the best of both worlds with the equity line of credit. Whoever has the best credit score, have them apply, and then you're gonna upload your bank statements, and we're gonna use the income for anybody that shows deposits on those bank statements. These things are legit, and they are done so fast. And no appraisal. We use an AVM model. Using the stupid acronyms no one knows again. Remember the first thing came up with AVM? Arteriovenous malformation. An abnormal connection between arteries, veins, usually in the brain or spine. I'm pretty sure I have that. AVM, automated valuation model. It means we don't need an appraisal. We don't need to pay $400 or $500 for some person to go walk around your house all judgy and be like,
this house is not worth shit.
Most appraisers I met are actually pretty cool. With these HELOCs, or home equity lines of credit, you do not need an appraisal. We do an automatic one. It'll actually tell you, if you click on the link that I told you about and go through the whole little process, it'll tell you exactly what they think your house is worth. You're probably not gonna like it though, because it's never gonna be as high as a full appraisal, because they're very conservative. If you're sitting on a good chunk of equity and you need some money, this is a fast way to get it done at a very low interest rate. They are legit and they can be used for anything. Use that money for whatever you want. It's your equity. However you need to use it, it's yours. You just make the monthly payments and you'll be fine. What types of properties can we do with a home equity line of credit? So we can only do single family residences, condos, and townhomes. So anything multifamily or even manufactured homes, I'm sorry, I can't do the equity line of credit on those ones. But if it's a single family home, a condo, or a townhouse, you're good to go. We can do equity lines on your primary residence, second homes, and even investment properties. That's one that not a lot of people do. I've heard that one for some reason, that there's not a lot of people that do equity lines on investment properties. Now keep in mind, we're not gonna be able to access as much equity on an investment property as if it was your primary residence, but we do still have that option. The credit score requirement on that one is also a touch higher. It's 680 or more if you want to get an equity line on an investment property. For primary residences or secondary residence, it's a 620 minimum. Super simple. The other thing I like about this loan is the flexibility of options. So within this home equity line of credit, keep in mind a line of credit is gonna have a variable interest rate, but if that's not your style, you don't like that interest rate changing and going up and down and rolling the dice on the market, we do have fixed rate products available, as well as something called a fixed rate advance or a fixed rate draw. Getting into all these crazy terms. Basically, all that it means is if, let's say, you get a line of credit for $100,000, but you only needed access to $25,000. You wanted to pull out $25,000, you'd be able to pull that out and put a fixed interest rate with a set term. Let's say you wanted it paid off in 3 years. They'll give you a set interest rate with a set monthly payment, so you don't have to worry about it changing and being variable. So just know we've got tons of flexible options. And then when it comes to the fees for it, because yes, it is going to cost a little money. There are fees when it comes to getting loans, but they do give you a couple of options. You can either pay them out of pocket separately, so they're not on your loan itself. You can finance them in. If you're doing a draw for $25,000, they'll just add that extra fee in there, and it's just something you pay back as part of the loan. I love the flexibility of these types of things because it just gives you options, especially if you're a little short on money or if you've gotten yourself into some debt, especially credit card debts. Credit card debts is out of control right now. It's at an all-time high in the US, maybe even worldwide. And it's tough because those interest rates are the ones that are affected the most with, these rate hikes that the Fed's been doing. So these really high interest rates that we're seeing, that's directly affecting your credit cards. So if we could cut that in half and, put you in a better situation, that's exactly what these things are designed to do. Don't be embarrassed if you need access to a little bit extra money and you've owned your home for, a year or more, this would be a great opportunity. And what's really cool about this one is this is the only equity line of credit product I've seen that you can get if the house is also listed for sale. So let's say you're trying to sell your house and it's just not selling for whatever reason because maybe it needs a little bit of work. You can get an equity line of credit to maybe, pull some money out, fix it up, make it a little bit nicer so that you could sell it for even more money. And then when you do sell it, you just pay it right back. I mean, you might have 1 or 2 payments. It'd be a piece of cake. And that's something you can apply for today and have the money in your account by next week. That's how easy and fast these things are. Again, soft credit check, like hardly any documentation. You're uploading your bank statements for the most part. We're just using one person's credit score. I mean, these things are great. So if you need access to that money, or if you're just curious on how much money you could potentially borrow, check out that link or just give me a call. I'd be happy to walk through or talk through any other scenarios or questions you might have. That's what I'm here for.